Good morning, viewers, and welcome to the midweek edition of the Economy and Politics Show. Today, we always take a look around the midweek developments in the micro, small, and medium enterprise space. As we all know, it's very important that every country gives priority and attention to the micro, small, and medium enterprises because of the economic activities they bring. And today, we'll be taking a look at various developments as we continue to cover the post-October 2020 violence that followed the peaceful EndSARS protest, looking at police reforms and addressing issues of police brutality. So for today, we'll look at President Muhammadu Buhari's approval of free business registration for 250,000 MSMEs nationwide. We will bring to the public, and of course for viewers in Nigeria and across the globe, the fact that there is a fake NYIF social media account. You have to stay tuned to understand what that means. And of course, states have already been announcing support measures for MSMEs that have been affected by the October 2020 violence, which did not only occur in the epicenter, Lagos, but traversed the entire nation. And this is one development that is unfortunate, and we continue to commiserate with all the families of those that lost their lives and also those who were injured and lost properties. Their shops were looted and institutions that had their offices burnt down and destroyed. We hope that we can pull through this and recover again, and that this doesn't occur again, and that means a lot has to be addressed on the socio-economic space. But let's begin with the interesting move by the presidency and the announcement that President Muhammadu Buhari, GCFR, has approved free business names registration for targeted 250,000 micro, small, and medium enterprises nationwide. According to the Corporate Affairs Commission, 6,606 names in each of the 34 states will be registered. That's aside the Federal Capital Territory, Abuja, which will have 7,906 slots. Lagos, Nigeria's economic capital, has 9,084 slots. Lagos is a very big player in the economy, so it's not surprising. And closely followed by Kano State, which has 8,406. You can see that from the first to the third. They are very critical states and cities in the country. Lagos, Nigeria's economic capital. Kano, the second most populated state in Nigeria and also a major historical industrial hub. And of course, Abuja, Nigeria's seat of power. Now, for everyone that has an MSME, you have to go through this process. The free registration has commenced already. Don't miss it. You don't want to miss this opportunity because registration, business registration has become one of those big challenges for MSMEs. So all you need to do is visit cac.gov.ng. cac.gov.ng. Visit that website to get all the further details on how to benefit and become one of those 250,000 MSMEs. Like they say, many are called, few are chosen. Don't miss out. Nigeria has over 40 million MSMEs, so if you push, you could make it, let's say, 41.2. You become among the 41.25 million MSMEs that will now join the fold. And we are waiting for you. So don't miss out on this opportunity from the federal government. It's a very good one as we continue to hope that this process of easing registration for businesses is broadened and more systemic and methodical. This step by the President is a welcome development, and the onus is on the Corporate Affairs Commission to ensure that the process is transparent and efficient. We hear a lot of statements from the President, but the parastatals, the ministry, department, and agency have their role to play in ensuring that they do the right thing. So CSE, all eyes on you. Please do the right thing. Ensure that this process is transparent, is efficient, and effective, and that everyone that comes on time to register gets it done. That is how we build a great country. Currently, there are over 40 million MSMEs in Nigeria, according to the National Bureau of Statistics survey, which shows how critical they are to the economy. One additional area of concern has been the need to facilitate registration processes for micro-enterprises who constitute over 80% of the MSMEs in the country. So financing measures for the micro-enterprises plus the registration has been at the low end, as several interventions for MSMEs have ended up in favor of the small and medium enterprises, who are seemingly more structured. So in addition to laudable initiatives like this, we would like to see an expansion of the scope of the Small Medium Enterprise Development Agency of Nigeria, SMEDAN. Let's rename it MSMEDAN to formally incorporate the micro-enterprises. Yes, let's rename it MSMEDAN, not SMEDAN, because every time you hear SMEDAN, every time you hear MSMEs, at the end, all the interventions, let's take a history of it, right from even, let's narrow it down to the Fourth Republic since 1999, has always been beneficiary to the small and medium enterprise. The micro, who are the major players, don't even benefit. So let's reset things. If we're talking about resetting the economy, yearnings of the youth, yearnings of people for change, for transformation, that is one step I guess we must take seriously. Another key step here is for fiscal and monetary policies to incentivize the microfinance banks to support the micro-enterprises with lending at affordable rates. Microfinance banks are there, but they have to be incentivized. Policies have to encourage them to also support micro-enterprises. Those people at the informal sector, those people that run businesses, that employ at least 2 people, 3 people, 4, they are also important to this economy. And that is why formalizing the informal sector, driving more strategies to widen the base, to include them in the economy, has become very imperative and important. Let's get to the next development, which of course, as goodies and good things are being pushed out, we're also having some very, very interesting personalities that want to create some kind of misinformation using the social media platforms. And let me just say this, the fact that we use the digital platforms to push fake news and fake information doesn't mean that we should regulate the social media, because regulation of the social media, those rules should be handled by the social media networks themselves, Facebook, Twitter. They know best how to address it. And this is to Nigeria. We won't accept any form of regulation of social media. Nigeria is a large democracy, and we mustn't allow those tendencies. But let's go on to the business of the issues of the development around a fake account. It is a fake account that's been circulating, and young Nigerians who are savvy, who are on their mobile phones, on their systems, looking at the social media platforms, have been circulating these fake accounts. It's a Twitter handle at NYIF_NG in caps. That Twitter account is fake, according to the Federal Ministry of Youth and Sports Development. Everything they're pushing, which is the Nigerian Youth Investment Fund, is not authentic. It is a fake source. So don't subscribe to them, don't follow what they're telling you, because they are misleading. You can imagine circulating those things and you're happy that you send the good information to your friend, relative that is young, and at the end it's discovered as a fake message. But yes, apart from the fact that that's fake, there's also an authentic platform for you to engage for the NYF, showing on the screen now. The NYF has an authentic one. There's a fake one, but we have the authentic one, and all you need to do is to follow that site, that platform, and you get all the required information you need at this time concerning being part of the NYF. You now know that there's a lot of power in what we send, information that we send, and we must be very wary of fake information. So for this authentic platform showing on the screen now, The website you should visit is youthandsport.gov.ng. Youthandsport.gov.ng. Visit that website, or noya.ng. Youthandsport.gov.ng or noya.ng, and you will be able to get into the platform and see how you meet the criteria of the Nigeria Youth Investment Fund. And this is for young people. You know, young people constitute the population, demography of our Nigerian population, supporting young entrepreneurs. So if you are a young person falling between that category from 18 to 35, this plan fits you and you need to benefit from it. So disregard the initial, what we sent, showing you on the screen, initial fake account, but the one that has this website, as earlier stated, are the authentic ones, because there's a huge opportunity to tap into this 75 billion naira initiative, which will be spanning 3 years. 25 billion naira every year will be disbursed. Let's see how this happens, because it's very important. We on this part will be monitoring it, tracking it, and bringing to the fore the need for it to be transparent, like we said, with the business registration process that the president has announced for 250,000 MSMEs, will ensure that this also is transparent and meets the challenges and yearnings of young people. So the peaceful End SARS protest, which is a metaphor for the socio-economic challenges of the country, definitely is getting some level of response, but we want to see pragmatism, because when issues like this are addressed and impacts the young people, you begin to see that there's a lot of relief on the socio-economic space. Talk about last week, it was so many words to use, but I would like to say unprecedented level of violence, destruction, carnage, never seen since we returned to the Fourth Republic in 1999. People have talked about what they experienced during the June 12, 1993 era, when the elections of Chief Moshood Abiola, the widely believed winner of the June 12, 1993 elections of the Social Democratic Party, when it was annulled, there was a crisis, there was extended protests calling for democratic rule. But for the Fourth Republic, this was unprecedented. Lagos was not the only city hit as the epicenter of the crisis. Across the country, there was violence. Reeling from the post-October 2020 violence across the country, states have been the worst hit, with Lagos, Nigeria's economic capital, as the epicenter. And not just Lagos, the following states that we can report to you authoritatively also witnessed some level of violence or social instability. Oyo State, Edo, Ondo, Ekiti, Rivers, Anambra, Enugu, Imo, Kwara, Akwa Ibom, Cross River, Kaduna, Kogi, Adamawa, Osun, Delta, Abia, and Plateau State, amongst others, experienced this level of destruction of property and institutions, burnt, buildings, businesses looted in a way that you can't imagine. And from the statistics, over half of the 36 states and the Federal Capital Territory, which also witnessed some bit of violence, saw this violence perpetrated by hoodlums who took advantage of the peaceful End SARS protest in the country. We wanton destruction of properties, business places, critical infrastructure, public buildings, offices of international agencies, and houses of eminent Nigerians and notable politicians and leaders of thoughts. The carnage has cost the country trillions of naira, and rebuilding the waste and ruins will require a lot of financing and capital. Also really affected are the micro, small, and medium enterprises, who also need support this period and have been affected by the destruction. States are already beginning to step up, exploring how they can support with special schemes and funds. And let's begin with the first state. Of course, Lagos State has always been prompt and proactive over the time. Lagos State, through its Lagos State Employment Trust Fund, is providing support to Lagos-based business owners whose shops were looted or vandalized during the period of violence and curfew. So if you're a Lagos-based business owner your shop was looted or vandalized or destroyed. It's a very painful experience. And we identify with those challenges you face because of how you, in your own way, are trying to drive economic activities and generate employment and also contribute to revenue. But to get support from the LSCTF, follow the social media platform at LSCTF for the updates on how to access the support, or the hashtag #LSCTF. You can also visit the website www.lsetf.ng. So you would be able to access the website www.lsetf.ng. And when you do, you go down and you have access to filling a form, and from filling that form, you get further updates on how to access support in this period, because these are very challenging times for those, especially in Lagos, that own businesses. From Lagos Island to Mushin, to parts of even Ikorodu, and across the states, the violence, the carnage, the looting was really, really adverse. Also, states are beginning to announce interventions. 2 states have already done that. Oyo State has announced a 500 million naira intervention to support businesses and other concerns that were affected by the violence. Oyo State has done that. And Kwara State also has announced 500 million naira. So the first 2 states have announced 500 million. I don't know if that's the peg or the agreement, but the other states can step it up. But it's very important that businesses, MSMEs are supported this period because of the need to rebuild and revamp the activities. These are the kind of steps that other states should adopt to support the recovery process of the economy, and you can't achieve that without supporting the MSMEs. Several analysts have called on the federal government and the Central Bank of Nigeria to work together to explore how they can support MSMEs across the states. And they're looking at grants, not loans. Some of them have already collected loans for their business and everything has been destroyed. So looking at grants. Do we expect anything to happen? Suggestion is maybe the Federal Ministry of Finance, Budget and National Planning can work with the Central Bank of Nigeria to look at some cushioning effects for states that have been really worst hit by the violence, and the MSMEs there that need that support, because we really have to support them. It's a challenging period. This was unexpected. This was a very big challenge. And like we've come to understand in our session on Monday, insurance is very key. And of course, this again will bring to the fore the need to drive insurance and explore all the policies in the insurance industry that covers situations like this, whether it's a riot and commotion development, the RSCC, or even the group life for employees in MSMEs and the fire and perils provision. All these policies have to be explored. So insurance is one thing, a learning point from this development. Now let's once again bring to the fore the importance of strengthening micro, small, and medium enterprises in Nigeria. Why is it important? Just once again, stressing the importance of MSMEs. First, if we are going to achieve removing or lifting millions of people from poverty, currently our poverty rate is 40.1%. Over 82 million Nigerians are living in the poverty line. That should not leave you surprised when we saw the level of looting of palliatives across the country. That looting is unbelievable. But that shows you that a lot has to be done. And MSMEs have to be strengthened and supported if we're going to lift millions from poverty. And the federal government is talking about a 10-year plan to lift 100 million people from poverty. You can't achieve that without the MSMEs. So this is why we have to strengthen the MSMEs. That also ties to addressing unemployment, because with the MSMEs strengthened, people get employed. And boosting productivity, which is one debate we've had for over a decade now. Our monetary and fiscal policies must align to address productivity. And MSMEs, particularly following niche activities, can help to boost productivity in the economy. You want to address your revenue challenge as a federal government, as state governments, then support and strengthen MSMEs. And when you have over 40 million, 41 million, and they're active and up and doing, you can expect the commensurate revenue to drive and run government services and activities. And that's also tie into growing the economy, because MSMEs contribute over 40% in terms of gross domestic product contribution to the economy. So you can't downplay their role. And they're also key into industrialization, particularly where we have MSMEs that are key into the value chain of manufacturing and agro-industrialization. That is why we need to strengthen MSMEs. Now, in this period, if there is any ministry that will be watching to see how they can really support businesses, MSMEs, and all that, is the Federal Ministry of Industry, Trade and Investment. Very critical ministry. Sometimes we may not even know, but it's important. They are the very key ministry. Every time of crisis, every time of challenges, economic pressures, they are the key ones. And why? Because the FMITI would have to continue to strengthen and ensure that the ease of doing business process continues effectively and seamlessly, covering registrations like we've seen, the benevolence of the presidency, and issues of business permits. So we need to see that alignment and seamless process for registrations and business permits, all captured under the ease of doing business. And of course, we have a Presidential Enabling Business Environment Council, PEBEC, working tirelessly, and we'll continue to monitor how they are doing in putting Nigeria among the top 100, which is the goal for doing business, which is assessed by World Bank. Also necessary to see how they support the business community. Of course, we have the Nigeria Investment Promotion Council that is under the Ministry of Trade and Investment. And so the issues around waivers, necessary tax exemptions, and other incentives are important. The NIPC and of course businesses that need support and want to make investments. All those things are important. Working with related ministries and parastatals to improve infrastructure is key. Ministry of Power, very important. Power has been identified as one of the necessary infrastructures to help MSMEs grow. So more interaction with the Ministry of Works also in terms of road networks and rail, Ministry of Transportation. All these enabling infrastructures are key to ensuring that MSMEs can drive their activities. And also special economic zones and industrial zones. If you look at Nigeria's history, growth in industry has always been around SEZs and IZs. This means that cities like Kano, Lagos, known for industrialization, had special economic zones and industrial zones. So when you look at Ikeja, Upper Akran, those axes down, they are industrial zones. Even down to Port Harcourt, the Transamadi layout, and in Kano, where you have industrial zones. We need to see these activities ramp up quickly so that we can achieve scale. Capacity development is important. MSMEs need continual capacity development, and the ministry has a role there to play, engaging international development agencies and other support schemes and initiatives for MSMEs, and partnering with financing institutions to support MSMEs. We have several. We have the Bank of Industry there. We have the Development Bank of Nigeria. It's just to continue to engage them, to explore how they can expand the level of support to MSMEs so that we can really grow and achieve a very inclusive economy. Because part of the challenges of Nigeria is an inclusive economy. When the economy is not inclusive, it's open to socio-political challenges, as we can see. The major takeaway from what we saw in the last week, when there is tension and people don't have opportunities, they lash on and create a lot of concerns in the country. And we hope that these are things that will continue to be at the forefront of the activities of the FMITI, who know that that's key for them. Once we ramp up, we want to just bring to you some examples of countries that have become hubs driving MSME activities and showing you that definitely Nigeria can do better if we take the last thing we said seriously. Countries like Singapore today, Israel, Kenya, the Republic of South Korea, and Brazil have been recently listed by the World Economic Forum as key startup hubs, creating enabling environments and building a huge value chain for MSMEs globally. So that shows you that policy, strategy, enabling environments, and regulatory approach can help countries to become that strategic hub for startups. That's the goal for Nigeria. We can achieve it in the next 3-4 years if we set the target. When World Economic Forum does the assessment again, we can be among the top 5 where startups are getting hubs that they can grow and scale and contribute to the economic development. And this has helped these 5 countries to improve their global competitiveness level in terms of the Global Competitiveness Index captured by the World Economic Forum. So again, a huge opportunity for Nigeria to take seriously MSME growth and development. And finally, as we all know, next year, the Africa Continental Free Trade Agreement is kicking off. Nigeria has to bring a lot to the table. It starts through how we strengthen and develop our MSMEs to become not just Africa competitive, but globally competitive. So local, great, but global, evolving and strategic. And the final example is Germany. MSME, efficiency, development, productivity, growth, transformation, at the end leads to a buoyant and robust economy. Nigeria will get there as we continue to align and work to make it better. And that will be all for this edition of the Economy and Politics Show. I guess this edition you will really want to have questions around the various initiatives we announced, the presidential move to improve registration of businesses, the Nigeria Youth Investment Fund, the steps taken by state governments to support businesses affected by the recent carnage. Send your comments and views to news@prochange.com. We're glad to receive them and we'll respond to you appropriately. Also, you can follow our website, www.prochange.com. That website is so rich, it is one of the few in the country that gives you robust news stories, analysis, and insight into MSME developments in the country. Go to that website, go to the right side, the bar, you see various developments on MSME policy, acts, regulations, startups, activities. We have them all covered for you when you visit the site. And also, know that in this period, you can also get to know the initiatives by governments, subnationals, and even private sector designed to empower young people. All this is just important so you can get informed and also take advantage of the opportunities. 10 a.m. is a market review. You don't want to miss today's edition, very special one, and we'll get it for you where we give you developments in the financial and capital market as it relates to the economy. Till we come your way again, thank you for watching. Have a nice day and stay safe.